What could you lock with a bike lock and cause the most chaos? 2 people's ear gauges. I just vomited a little in my mouth at the thought of this. Then push one of them. You're thinking too simple. Brings out trampoline. The only porta potty at a super spicy chili festival. All the porta potties at a music festival. As someone who shat himself on a date at a music festival, I can confirm this will. In fact, cause ast ton of chaos. I can tell if you're joking with the shit ton of chaos part since you've said that you shat yourself. Find 2 cars parked close to each other and lock the doors together. The doors to the flight control tower before shift starts at an airport that closes at night. Doesn't cause as much chaos as you'd think. Link. Wow. That's an interesting video. I stand corrected. At least once it happened that a late night shift controller working alone locked themselves out of the operational part of the tower while taking APS. We once locked a porta potty at a well-known music festival with a combo lock. It lasted a day. They brought bolt cutters the next day. It was glorious. We had a private place that was clean to use the bathroom. That is the most selfish, ingenious idea I've ever heard. Did a line of people who didn't know it was locked form? Public bathroom doors. Say part of an aeroplane's landing gear. Shopping cart to a car door handle. Now I know what to do next time someone parks like ACT. Shopping cart to a Karen's car door handle. Always bring a bike lock with you when you're out searching for your stolen bike. That way if you find it, you can prevent the thief from leaving before you get their lock off. And bring a better lock than the one you used when your bike was first stolen. I used the lock to defeat the lock. This guy probably. My bike got stolen once and I was so upset. I had just brought it to the bike doctor and it was all fixed. And I borrowed my mom's bike because I still needed to go somewhere. And somehow I looked to the side at the right moment while biking and saw my bike standing next to a fence. And they hadn't even locked it. They had cut my lock and tied that around the fence so it would look as if it was locked, but it wasn't actually. So I could just take it. I've never felt so ecstatic, man. I was walking with 2 bikes home and I was laughing like a maniac. People must have thought I was crazy, but it was just such an absurd thing. And my mom was so FG confused when I came home with the bike that just had been stolen. I think that was legit one of the greatest feelings I've ever had. Airplanes have a slot on the yoke for a control lock to keep the surfaces fluttering around in the wind. Some people do not check this before takeoff. If you put a bike lock in there, you'd cause some chaos. The kid I babysit threw a tantrum during lunch and while I was eating with his siblings. He ran upstairs and locked the handle of 2 doors together so neither could be opened, thus preventing that no one could enter their room. It was the room with all the toys in it. I didn't realize what the "with" meant for a moment while I was eating his siblings. It's odd. It's not a short comment. I would have thought typing "with" would be quicker than finding a on your keyboard. When I was in university, I learned "with" and "with-o" was a lot easier to type when you had to scramble to keep up with the notes. Why would be any harder to find than I, T, or H? This is my greatest revenge story of how I used a bike lock to lock 2 car wheels together. I guess this fits here. Dude in high school thought it would be funny to take my laptop and smash it. Granted, I had already ordered a new one. But it really p'd me off. Few hours later, me and my pal on our off period decided to bike lock the dude's car wheels together. We did the front and back tires on the right side and then waited. When he tried to back out, it actually f'd the wheels up so bad he had to call a tow truck to get the car. How did you link the tires together with one lock? Well, seeing as I have a bike lock and an opportunity to cause the most chaos, yes. In a car wheel. Extra points for taking off the hubcap, locking the rim to the frame, and then putting the hubcap back on so it can't be seen. No. Go back where you came from, Satan. Their name is Mathematic Addict. This has to be Satan. That was what raised my suspicion in the first place. Find someone who has stretch in their ear. It may take a massive amount of skill, but if you could pull it off. 2 people with big enough gauges. Fire exits in a burning building. Good idea. Those seamstresses are probably stealing from you, Mr. Blank, and nobody is going to be sneaking into my nightclub without paying. It's like Triangle Shirtwaist all over again. A donut to a cop's car door handle. I mean, why stop at just one? Comedian Kellen Erskine has a bit about this. The beer fridge in an Irish bar. You're a cruel BD. Put it around a man's ankles. Any kind of hacksaw or brute force would break his legs too. Quite a predicament. A cop's motorcycle. My suggestion is locking it on a roller coaster's rail on the fastest part. Watch the people fly. Unexpected psychopath. Never judge a user by their username. So you already are a serial killer? Put it on a main exit door and then set the fire alarm off. You'd be surprised how little people care when a fire alarm goes off while they shop. I was at a grocery store last week and the fire alarm went off. I was at the very back of the store and had just moved to this town, so it was my first time there. I kind of panicked trying to figure out if it's a real fire and where to exit. But everyone else just ignored it and kept shopping. Even when the firemen showed up, nobody cared. So insane to me. Fire drills have normalized fire alarms. Help. Someone locked me to a pole with a bike lock. Quote. Yep. The fridge. My school locked the boys' bathroom door with a bike lock because they were using it for drugs and vaping. This caused people to be late for class because the other boys' bathroom was at the other end of the school. As you can imagine, wait time to use the bathroom was also increased, which didn't help the situation whatsoever. Solution. ST on the floor. A surprisingly effective solution for many things. Someone else's kid. Only the real experience in your own basement. A drug dealer in your basement. Count the broken plate pieces. Would you say the plate broke bad? I'll show myself out. Laughs in Heisenberg. A Walmart after everyone goes inside in Black Friday. Or, a Walmart before everyone goes inside on Black Friday. Half inside and half outside. The ones outside form a stampede while real-life Hunger Games takes place indoors. Good luck getting those doors closed. I wonder if anyone is looking through the comments for ways to cause chaos. Maybe I asked the question for a reason. Oh. Watch out in the news. All I need now is 300 bike lock to carry out all the ideas. In the 1980s, a women's protest stuck a bike lock on the gates to RAF Greenham Common. They were protesting cruise missiles being based there. The footage is hilarious. Bolt cutters and hacksaws don't work, so they try brute force. The gate comes off the hinges. All I want to know is what lock they used. Edit. So a lot of people have A. said it's kryptonite locks. B. mentioned the lock-picking lawyer. So I searched YouTube. And he tried to cut a newer type. I think the police can be forgiven for failing. That's a brilliant one. Every so often I remember this footage. I did war studies at uni and I brought it up in a tutorial as a silly example of how an insurgent force could cause chaos against a much greater force for barely any effort. Which was a creative way of saying, look at the funny. I mean, using a $50 lock to cause that much inconvenience and damage is pretty cost-effective in an asymmetric conflict. You could lock a rival meth dealer in your basement. I think that one ended in some chaos. Nothing a little chemistry couldn't solve. With the right container, of course. Goddammit. A bike lock factory door. One lock to lock them all. A bolt cutter's factory door. Now it will never be cut. My CD-ROM drive's drivers were on a CD. So I know how that feels. Windows once had the guts to tell me. New device detected. USB optical mouse. Click here to install drivers. Quote. 2 random people's bikes. Reminded me of the time when my friend locked his bike in front of a building only to find out on his way out that someone used his lock to lock both of their bikes together. 2 other bikes together. Not a bike lock. But someone at my middle school years ago figured out the master combination code for the master locks used on the lockers, and then someone else locked every single one in a giant clusterfuck chain in protest of the faculty doing nothing about locker theft. Next year they switched to a less stupid AS design. The ones that had a master key in the back instead. At school we had combination locks that could be picked by ear. If you had outstanding hearing, you could hear the tumblers reset after passing the correct number. I freaked someone write the FK out by turning their lock backward repeatedly. You can easily pick any combination master lock. I have 5 thanks to the apps you can find online. By feel. Not hearing now. They are a joke. Always were. Also there is always the soda can method. Whenever I find one I just Google the guides and go to work. Note. I have never picked one actively in use. I used to work recycling and you would find them all the time. It's a fun parlor trick. Step siblings. Hey. What are you doing? Step bro? Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.